It's okay. You know what it needs, fool? It needs a little bit of beer, fool.
No.
It's a good look. Good, huh?
I got everything off the block already. The block, it's sitting on its own right now. Gotta go ahead and clean everything off. One of the bearings, which was the connecting rod bearing, completely destroyed. Let's see if I can find the piston. Here it is. So you can see how bad this was. So we are getting the engine prepped here, which means we're cleaning everything that I'm going to reuse, except for those pistons and the crank. It looks like they try to do work or they try to fix this engine before, because it has pretty much brand new guides for the timing chain. So I'm removing the oil squirters here for each cylinder, so that way we can go ahead and clear those out as well, because it does have some metal shavings. And these are going to go into the cleaning area. Right now what I'm doing is measuring bearing clearance, which are for the main journals on the crank and the connecting rod. So there are different grades for each individual one, and I want to ensure that I order the correct ones, because they're primarily the ones that give you the oil pressure. Having too much of a clearance or having too little of a clearance will affect the engine dramatically. I'm using a micrometer that has a vernier scale, and it precisely measures down to the 10,000ths place. I've already measured the diameter for all the main journals on the crank itself. Now I'm starting to measure for the connecting rods. That was for piston number 1, you can say, and I got a measurement of 2.0461, meaning if we look at the selection table, I'm still within spec of grade 0. So once I get all the measurements together, then I can go ahead and place the order for the correct clearance on bearings. To ensure that I can cross match the information from the diameter of the main journals, I have to also measure these. Then there's also a selection table, and you gotta cross match it, and it also gives you your grade of bearing that you gotta use for your main bearings. Right now I'm taking out the intake valves, and I was gonna spend money on buying the tool, but Shasho told me, he's like, why don't you make it? Check this out. So this literally, it's a clamp. This pushes on the spring right here, pushes down and takes out the lock, which are these two lockers right here. There's one, and then I dropped the other one. This is literally a build from the shed, or not a shed, but a tool room. So you hear that pop, and then with the magnet, it's the best way to get these springs or the lockers out. They come out right out. So long story short, I made an order of about 23 parts, and 2 of them right now are on back order. 3 of them are still processing. So total 5 parts I'm still missing from the total order that I made. I'm not expecting the bearings until mid-February. For me, I make a spreadsheet just to keep track of the parts. It makes it easier. Alright, check this out. So the way I'm cleaning the heads is I'm using this spray right here with some hot water that I'm boiling right there on the fire. So they look pretty clean. We just gotta remove the gunk from the exhaust ports. Shasho had me put on some JB weld to see if they will hold. They tend to fail from right here, so that's the reason I'm doing that. I don't want to spend money on new motor mounts and then they end up breaking a couple of 1,000 miles and then they're done again. So once we get the heads cleaned off, next thing to do is right here is the you can barely see them, but clean the valves and the springs, and then reassemble everything back together, install the valve stem seals, and then reassemble the block, and hopefully I have the Z running here within Friday. And right here is a 350Z. I kind of neglected it here for a couple of months, actually a year and a half. So she's just been sitting here with no engine. I also got to clean the engine bay. So here's the heads. I just finished cleaning them off so I can start seating the valves onto them. These are the intake valves, and all I did was get a piece of cardboard and wrote down the location that they go on the head. Last night I couldn't get the valve seated on properly, so what we're gonna do is head off to the parts store, get a tool for that, and then also I need to go pick up the oil that I need, because I need braking oil. What's up, homie? Don't be fooled by the box. We just ended up picking up my braking oil. This is just for carrying it easy, but this is what I'm using. Right now I'm a little bit behind schedule. I was supposed to have the block already assembled, but because I thought that this was sufficient for both valves, the exhaust and intake, but this one was still too big for the exhaust valves, so I had to wait for Shasho to bring me another one. The intake valve's already done. My first time doing this, so I'm learning as I go, but for example, this valve hasn't been seated yet, but this one has already. And I would record this for you guys doing the valve job or the seating of the valves, but it's pretty boring. I'm not gonna lie, it's boring as fuck. Hopefully by tomorrow the car is running. Alright, so right here, I'm actually using a drill, but I'm not fully tightening the bolt down. It's just, I stop before it even hits the griddle. And the reason why you don't want to tighten this with an impact is because you got to ensure that it's up to spec. Alright, so it's been a minute since I last started recording because the GoPro died. For now, I already have 3 pistons in, so now that it's charged, that way I can show you guys a little bit here of the progress going on. And hopefully I can get this car running by today. It's gonna be a long one. I haven't slept at all. Fuck me. What's up, everyone? So I stopped recording with the GoPro because I made a huge mistake when I was assembling the engine, but I got that fixed now. My homie Carlos pulled through. What's up, He's like, let's go get some food, and at the same time, might as well kill 2 birds with 1 stone, hunger, and then buy the spark plugs and some fuel for the car. So now, yeah, we're at the gas station, it's raining, and this motherfucker don't have any wipers.
It's a shit box, bro. We don't need wipers.
So I'm a day behind, it's already Saturday, but the main assembly for the engine, which are the heads and the block, are already all assembled together. So what I have left to do is just to install the gears to the cams, the timing chains, the tensioners, and then timing covers, and then lower and upper oil pans. And then from there I can install it on the car, so that's practically what I have left to do. hopefully I'm gonna have it running tomorrow, but if not, probably it's gonna extend until Monday. Last night I pulled an all-nighter, so kind of drained me out. I didn't go to sleep until like, I started early in the morning and didn't go to sleep until 11 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning today. So worked all night, and then I went to sleep, and I was supposed to take like a half hour, an hour at the most, and then I ended up sleeping until 3 o'clock, so that kind of slowed me down in the progress. But also the cleaning, so there was a very, very bad storm going on here, and the parts that I had outside already to be, or I don't know why I left them outside, which were the timing covers and the upper oil pan. I left them outside, so they got dusted out. So that kind of slowed the cleaning process, also slowed me down a lot into getting the engine done. But all of the other stuff that's left to put on the engine should be pretty easy from here on out. So right now it's Saturday, or Sunday technically, 30 midnight. I was gonna pull an all-nighter again, but I need some sleep. I'm really tired. I'm getting a little bit of help here. If you guys don't remember the twins, remember the Z11s, if you guys remember that video, these guys look completely different. We just finished putting on the timing covers, waiting for the silicone to dry so that way I can install the other parts, valve covers, and then the lower and upper oil seal, or the lower and upper oil pans. All right, so if you guys remember them, that's Sergio and that's Sigi. They look completely different, right?
Fucking look at this piece of shit.
So, yeah, that's them right there. Fully grown, or almost man. What's up, pimp?
What's up, kid?
Cierra la puerta, güey. Cierra la pinche puerta. Pinche cola larga. La pinche puerta. Que no.
It's okay. You know what it needs, fool? It needs a little bit of beer, fool.
No.
It's a good look. Good, huh?